Straight
vibing the whole
no
time,
dirty looks.
man. Like,
no dirty looks to the bass player.
Oh no, dude. If you just like literally, if you go and look at our Instagram, you see it's nothing but smiles, man. That's what, like, I swear every single time. This is like the most like frequent compliment that I get, and it's like that I am literally the happiest drummer I think that people have ever seen. Which is like, I mean, I'm just like, that's just like my happy place, man. Like, yeah, dude.
Do it. Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
All right. Are we live?
We're recording. Yeah, we're recording.
Cool, dude.
We have Dirty Mike and 2/3 of the boys.
Yeah,
Mike and
Dirty Mike and the boy.
Mike actually drives a Prius now.
Curtis.
That sounds really bad, doesn't it? Dirty Mike and the boy. It's like,
I think I've yelled that a couple times.
That's just a bad look.
Rolling around with a little wooden gun.
Gotta get your first desk pop in there, dude.
One of the most underrated movies ever made.
Literally.
Dude, I remember when that first came on Netflix, I think I watched it maybe 3 times in the space of a month because I kept meeting people who hadn't seen it before. Like I watched it with Galen and he's like, how have I not seen this before?
It's so funny.
I love Will Ferrell just in general. I think I've watched damn near all of his movies.
I was gonna say I'm not a huge Will Ferrell fan, but that movie just gets me.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like a different vibe than a lot of Will Ferrell movies, though. You know what I mean? Like he has like a pretty similar act. Like
Mark Wahlberg. Goes for a loop.
That's a great comedic duo.
For sure.
It really is.
Excessive straight man, not just playing a straight man. He's excessively the straight man.
I actually work with a guy, and I call him the great value Mark Wahlberg because he's like pretty similar looking to him. He just looks way worse.
The great value Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, dude.
How does he take that? Is that like a compliment, or is he like, go fuck yourself?
He's actually one of my supervisors.
Mark Wahlberg.
Nate, who am I?
I've always thought that Phil sounds like Joe Rogan.
I'm Bargain Joe Rogan.
Not
Rogan. Sorry, not Rogan. Not Rogan. Sorry, not Rogan. Sorry.
He looks like Seth Rogen. Sounds like Joe Rogan.
I sound like Seth Rogen. I don't sound like.
No, you sound like Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan? No.
I can see the voice a little bit.
No,
I don't.
No,
I don't.
Mm-mm. No,
I just might be trying to connect the dots.
Word. Well, if you guys haven't noticed, this is Frame This Podcast. We hit the ground running.
Are we going to do a proper intro? Or are we just going to roll right into it?
I was just going to let people figure it out from context.
Like the dirty old rock and roll that the boys play.
Yeah, dude.
Let the boys play.
Let the boy watch.
That's also Dirty Mike says, "Let the boy watch."
I think that's another Will Ferrell quote.
Nate, there's your next shirt idea.
Let the boy watch.
Let the boy watch.
Southbound Barretta, let the boy watch. Let's not print that one.
Oh, Mike, actually tell them about the hoodie idea that we got. That's actually going to be rolling.
Oh yeah, Nate.
That's a good one.
Kick out of this too. So we're using the inside cover design from the album on the back of a big hoodie, and you know how like the old school metalcore and hardcore have like a lyric, kind of like the Letter from Racketeer shirt, where we had the lyric like above and below the image. Yeah, we're doing that, but we're having it say the second best rock band in Indiana. Just for cheeky nature, and then we're doing the CD on the front patch right here. So we'll have those out in like a month or so.
Who's the first?
See, we like that open-ended question, man. We're just so humble that we know it's not us. That's our big thing.
Who else is from Indiana?
Rock bands?
Name a South.
Yeah.
Name a Midwest. I don't even know.
Like rock and roll band or
just in general.
Oh shit!
The Contortionist is from Indianapolis. Haste Today. As far as metal,
I think We Came as Romans is from Chicago.
Yeah, that's Chevelle's from Chicago.
That's Illinois.
Axl Rose is from Indiana.
I know that, Phil. I know that.
We got John Mellencamp too.
John Mellencamp.
Love me some
one of the big
like
metal bands are from. That's about it.
We got a lot of country artists, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's pretty hick. I mean, we're pretty much in the heart of the Midwest, so it's like, kind of like a given thing. But like, that's what I think too, like why people love us too. I mean, we're a rock and roll band, but people just dig that shit. It really does. It just sells around here. Yeah.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, we're talking with Mike Brennan and Senior Cody Apple. Yeah. They're from Indiana. They play in the rock band Southbound Barretta.
Yeah.
Just dropped their first album. I don't know. It's been what, 2 months now? It'll be 2 months in a couple days.
It's like
it was October 1st. The album came out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it'll be a month.
About a month.
Days.
Yeah. Days. Nate, I wanted to go with the line. They're not southbound and down. They're Southbound Barretta.
Yeah.
Or eastbound and down. Shit. I need to eat something.
Still got it wrong.
I liked it. I thought you were going for that on purpose. So I was like, I'm here for that.
Still shouldn't have said anything, or we wouldn't have noticed.
No.
So could the two of you guys don't fight for the first spot, but if you could introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about Southbound Barretta and what that journey has looked like.
You want to introduce yourself, Cody?
Yeah, sure. I am Cody Apple. I play drums. I've been in the band for about 3 to 4 months now.
Holy shit! Yeah,
so we've been. I feel like I got in it right at a prime time because we've been like, I feel like ever since I joined up, we've been grinding, like straight up. We've been actually grinding. Yeah, I live 2 hours south of Indianapolis. Like, so the rest of the guys, Mike and Casey, actually live up in Indianapolis, but I live down in Sanborn, Indiana, which is 2 hours south down there. So I drive pretty much 4-hour round trips a couple times a week up there to Indy just to play and shit.
That's commitment, man.
Right on.
And I do not like Braunschweiger.
Yeah, Mike, what's it like to have a committed drummer?
It's really awesome.
It's a nice feeling to wake up every morning and have a committed drummer.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm very thankful for that. So that's
Mike rolls out of bed. We have a committed drummer. Pours his beans and it's like sits and looks at the mountain like Thanos at the end of Endgame. It's like we have a committed drummer.
Yeah. No, it's pretty awesome. Like when Cody was starting like the whole tryout process, we were kind of just like, shooting the shit, like getting to know each other. I was like, man, like, 2 hours is a long drive. You know what I mean? Like, I'll help you with gas money or whatever you need. He's like, don't worry about gas money. I'll be up every week at least once. I'm like, all right, man. Like if you say so. And it's been awesome, man. Luckily, Cody works like halfway. So
true.
To get like to practice from work, it's only a little over an hour before traffic.
Yeah.
Talk about traffic.
I knew that.
Dude, it's been dog shit around over here. Oh my God.
Yeah, nobody knows how to drive around here whenever it rains, and I got stuck in traffic this afternoon after work, and it was bad. There was an accident and backed up for.
I thought that's just a Northern Virginia problem.
No, that's a Virginia problem.
Oh yeah, okay.
People in Virginia don't know how to handle moisture.
Dude, I feel like people just in general forgot how to drive, like with COVID. I didn't remember people being quite this bad of drivers. And then I get like back on the road in rush hour for the first time in a year and a half or whatever. And it's like, this is the most stressful fucking thing. And I lived in the New York City area, and I'm like, people are worse drivers than they were before. I swear by it.
Yeah, I could see that. People can't leave, and then we have our lives back and we have to drive places.
Right.
But I haven't actually sat behind a car and
It was wonderful not having fuckers on the road and just driving.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great.
I feel that.
For those of us who were considered
best year of my life.
Essential.
Best year of my life.
When did COVID when did you start writing the record, and B, did COVID help or make that more stressful?
That technically started writing the record like probably 3 or 4 years ago. So I was living out in New Jersey, and I was just kind of like going through some like anxiety and like kind of in a bad mental headspace for a little bit. And someone, gave me the thought of like, hey, just get back into music. And I wanted to move back to Indiana, so I wasn't going to start up a band. So I was like, I'll just go write and record stuff for fun, just put it out in a 16, track, just record the tape, have fun, whatever. So that was like the technical start of the writing process, like 9 to 5, Outlaw, Stone Cold Fox, and Letter from Racketeer were all on that like demo thing I did. There's probably like 4 other songs on that I don't think anyone's seen the light of day, but so quite a long time ago. The band kind of had a couple different iterations. One right before COVID, and we had most of the songs on this album already recorded. It was just gonna be like an EP, but then we had all the time in the world. So I was like, I'm just gonna keep writing music. There's can't leave the house, let alone go play a show. Like, may as well. So I was just writing like crazy. Like some stuff a little heavier, some stuff a little more classic rock, some just whatever was coming to mind. So then, like Redline, I wrote right as we were all locked up, and I was living in like a 800 square foot apartment and literally just drinking every night of the week, and I was just in a really crappy headspace. And I kind of wrote that for a friend who went through some drug issues and passed away a couple of years ago. Kind of from his perspective, just because I was in a dark headspace myself. So that was the last song technically written for the album. And then since then, that's been a year and a half now. I just kept writing, and then we were like, all right, we need to release, this Under Fire album. But we, couldn't do it with COVID because you want to get out and play, play the release show, gig, promoting the album and everything. So we kept pushing it back and ended up actually recording a second album that we've been sitting on for a few months. So COVID just like, it was so weird because it gave us the opportunity to sit on 2 full albums pretty much ready to go. But it was also just kind of a weird thing to not be able to release the album that we've been sitting on for over a year. So having Under Fire out finally is awesome. But it definitely helped us in the sense that we were able to just write and record just, way more music than I've been able to, in my life, like in that, short period of time, if you will.
Yeah. It's kind of nice actually that you guys had that at the front end. Cause I know for like bigger bands that weren't able to release music or had to hold off on releasing music, they, have fans waiting for music and they're pestering them waiting for new music, but you guys don't have that. But it also gives you almost like a leg up as a debut and as an immediate follow-up. Yeah. To kind of like hit the ground running a little bit harder.
Yeah, exactly. And our first single came out the Friday before everything locked down. It was March 13th of 2020. So it was like, well, that was kind of crappy timing, but who knew, right? And we, Casey and I specifically, this is way before Cody's time, we sat down and we're like, are we just going to sit on these singles and just wait, until the world gets normal? Is it ever going to get normal? Who knows? And we decided, we kind of made like an executive decision as a band. We're like, let's keep releasing, keep promoting, keep advertising and stuff and see what fan base we can develop without playing any shows, kind of like an experiment, as to where a lot of other local bands are like, we're going on a hiatus. It's COVID. We can't play shows. And I was like, that's kind of stupid, man. We're sitting in, indoors, like not spending any money. We may as well try to advertise it, push it out there, get it on playlists. And it ended up being a pretty good idea. We were able to get, pretty good, fan base established with, having only played a couple shows during the, beginning of COVID opening back up and everything. So definitely a weird time though.
Cody, how did the quarantine affect your mental headspace? Were you playing music at all during that?
No, I was not actually. Like, I played in a metal band previously, like before I joined this one. But honestly, man, like it really kind of messed with me because like I was just so like used to just going out and playing and stuff like that. And I didn't realize how much of that like actually like on like just helped me in a mental state. Like I don't know what about like just something about going to show, just whether it's going to shows or playing the shows, like that honestly just put a really big damper on me, man. There's a lot of things that like happen in like a short period of time. And then like, I mean, shit's still kind of like going on, like not my like struggles or anything like that. Like I'm actually like doing really good now because, I mean, I'm obviously like playing music and stuff like that, started a new job and everything. And I had some family members like pass away too. And like during all that time, it was just a big stress ball, man. Big stress ball. But yeah, man, like, honestly, it like that really led up. Honestly, dude, is pretty crazy till really I joined this band. Like this band, like really just got like, I don't know, just gave me my spark back just in general. Like not just for just playing music, but just like, I don't know, just being me in general. Like it just brought me back more than anything.
You got your mojo.
Yeah, totally. Totally. Yeah, dude, Austin Powers. I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
Every now and then, just out of nowhere, I'll get that flute tune from his theme song just stuck in my head. Just like I'll just be at work like whistling it to myself, and it drives me crazy.
I love that. I'll get random lines from that movie stuck in my head. And I feel like I haven't seen it in like 10 years. And I'm like, I can't even remember what I did this weekend, let alone like a movie 10 years ago, but it's in there somehow.
I feel that.
Memory is such a weird thing. Like I remember as a kid, I would just be like, I remember like yesterday, you know, what happened, you know, like a couple weeks ago, and mom goes, "Did you feed the dog?" I'm like, "No idea."
Yeah.
Like, how do you, that's actually something that I've wondered like about musicians in general. It's like, how do you remember all of the songs that you have to play? Like, are there nights where like you just brain fart and
yes,
don't?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I don't drink before I play anymore.
Yeah.
Good call, buddy. Good call.
I drink very little before we play. Casey gets wild. Cody and I will have like a few beers. But yeah,
that's the bass. Nobody cares about the bass line.
Oh man.
Yeah, and he's a guitarist by trade. He was the guitarist of all my old metal bands back in the day. So he'll be like, "Oh, bass is so easy. I was born to do this. I can get as drunk as I want." I'm like, "Man, you've never effed up from I can tell. So like, just keep on doing whatever you're doing."
Hey man, do your thing.
Yeah, I don't care. Like, yeah,
Cody, do you have to look at Casey and be like, "You're not with the bass drum"?
Oh no, dude. I'm just like, I'm straight vibing.
You're straight
vibing the whole
no dirty
time,
looks.
man. Like,
no dirty looks to the bass player.
Oh no, dude. If you just like literally, if you go and look at our Instagram, you see it's nothing but smiles, man. That's what, like, I swear every single time. This is like the most like frequent compliment that I get, and it's like that I am literally the happiest drummer I think that people have ever seen. Which is like, I mean, I'm just like, that's just like my happy place, man. Like that's it's like, I'm trying to think of how to say this, dude, but like it's just like how they say like an escape, like that's for real, dude. Like that is straight up for real. Like just once you get up there and you just start playing, and when you're sitting there fucking yelling at people and they're yelling back at you, dude, that's a vibe, man.
That's a great feeling. That's a great
for sure.
And I feel like us as a three-piece, we have a very good, we're all really close. We're like three legitimate best friends. Like it's not like some bullshit. And so on stage, it's just like, I'll turn around and like fuck with Cody, like, you know, mess with his cymbals or something, or I'll look at Casey and we'll like extend bridges and do like jams and stuff. Cause my ADHD is like the worst thing in the world. So I'll just start playing like a thrash metal riff in the middle of Letter from Racketeer. And Casey will look over and I'll be like trying to tell him the notes. He's like, "I don't know what the hell you're saying, man." I'm like, "You got it right," you know?
You hear it.
So
you hear it.
Yeah, and he'll either just play the open note or he'll try to figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like stuff like that. It's all definitely good vibes for us on stage. And back to like the brain fart thing and Letter from Racketeer is, for whatever reason, I can never get those lyrics right. And it's like my little secret. Like, I don't think people ever really realize it, but Casey's realized it because he's heard this song for 3 years now.
I start laughing.
He'll start laughing. And then whenever I get it right, we'll look at each other and just be like, "Yeah."
We're good.
Yeah. And then, yeah, it's bad. I've never been a singer before this band. So, and I suck with lyrics
Really?
as it is. Yeah. So this is a whole new thing for me.
Your voice sure does fit whatever you're playing.
Right on, man.
If I could speak English right now, which I'm really having trouble forming sentences and or coherent phrases. Fuck, it sounds like you've been doing this for years.
For real, that's amazing, man. I appreciate that. I was actually a drummer by trade growing up in like the metal scene. I always said I had good pitch but bad tone, if that makes sense, with singing, and I couldn't remember lyrics worth shit, like I said. And also for whatever reason, playing drums and singing was like the hardest thing for me ever, so I never tried that.
Only there's only a certain few drummers that can actually get that down and do it well. So yeah. Good try.
Yeah, so that was always way out of the question, man. And then
I think more in rock and roll, it's like tone.
What's his name from
matters.
ZZ Top does it?
What's that?
What was that?
The singer for ZZ Top is the drummer, right?
Huh?
No, Billy Gibbons is the
that was
guitar.
Billy Gibbons.
Yeah.
Oh, I could have sworn that I saw the drummer with the mic on.
Nate doesn't have a vast knowledge of rock and roll, so we'll give him a pass on that one.
The drummer does. Were you thinking of like the thing that he has around his ear, like the Backstreet Boys looking mic? That's to hold a cigarette. I kid you not. It's literally like a cigarette holder. I swear.
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that.
I swear to God. Yeah,
I
love ZZ Top. I've seen him live a bunch of times. Yeah, so he doesn't sing a single word, but he literally smokes a cigarette like while he's playing. It's amazing.
God damn it. That's one band I wish I would have seen before Billy passed. That's one band I wish I've seen.
Yeah, they were killer. I think they're still playing. I saw they had like a guy playing for Dusty like 3 weeks after, like they had some shows still booked. I don't know if they're just finishing out those dates or what.
Am I forgetting he died in ZZ Top? Shit.
Dusty Hill, the bassist.
That's it.
Yeah,
Billy's still there.
Yeah, Billy's. I feel like as long as Billy's there, they'll probably still be doing it, but I haven't heard like an official statement one way or the other.
Yeah, I feel like for whatever reason, if a vocalist leaves, the band is more likely to break up because they're harder to replace.
Yeah. That's like, to me, just to come in there, that's like a staple. Like for a band, like to have like, especially have it like a really good singer or just like a screaming vocalist, whatever, that's like a staple, like for a band. So it's like, that's like, it's, to me, I feel like that's like irreplaceable, honestly. And like, if you have to, like, it's just, I feel like it's hard, especially to like play like the same songs and stuff like that. I feel that's just me personally. Like some people can pull it off though. I will give them that. But I just feel like that's something that's just really irreplaceable, honestly. Guitar players,
the Grover Cleveland of the metal world.
Yeah, like guitar players, bass players, just instrument players in general are definitely replaceable. But a voice is extremely hard to replace.
Yeah,
like for sure.
I feel like the bands that were able to pull off a different singer either have like the cousin or the brother of the guy that just sounds just like him, or they go a completely different route. You know, like with Van Halen going with Sammy Hagar, it's like he really didn't sound that much like David Lee Roth, but he was like a personality of his own, and they went to cater to him more with like the more synth-driven, you know, rock and everything like that.
Yep.
So I feel like you either got to just say we're going, you know, this route, or just as Cody's saying, just, you know, maybe.
Oop.
Oh, I think he cut out, bud.
Is that my internet?
I think it's his.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Oh.
Yeah, I think you're back now.
Mic check.
No, you're the one that left.
Wait, mine was being weird?
I think so.
Oh, that was weird. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we're fine.
Good.
All right.
I mean,
what were we saying?
I mean, if you're with a band for so long and you have a sound down and you lose somebody or lose that integral piece of the puzzle, it definitely does not sound the same.
Yeah.
No.
And like you're saying, it was at I mean, some bands don't even continue. Like Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
They were like, nope, can't do it.
Yeah.
For so long.
Zeppelin's like literally my favorite band of all time. And, you know, John Bonham, my favorite drummer. And it's like, you can't like the integral parts that can't be replaced, like whatever it may be, like Eddie Van Halen passing for Van Halen, Bonham for Zeppelin, et cetera, et cetera. It's like, if you can't replace the person, just don't even try. You know what I mean? Because like it's just it's not gonna be the same.
Like the Doors did it. They did like one album after Jim Morrison died. Ray,
I didn't even know they did that, so I guess they lost my attention.
Yeah, I think they did one album after Jim Morrison died, and I know Ray took over a lot of the times when Jim couldn't perform because he was so intoxicated or under the influence that Ray usually took over. Yeah, it was it.
Man.
Yeah, Leonard Skinner lucked out. Lucked out.
Yeah.
Just use the cousin that looks and sounds exactly like him, or little brother, whatever it is. Yeah. It was cousin,
now that I think about it, I will say like one singer that comes to my mind that like replaced another, Alice in Chains. I don't know if you guys have actually listened to their new singer. That guy can actually, he wails. That dude wails. Like he's actually, I feel like that guy is like extremely similar to where, what's his fuck? Yeah, Lane Staley. Yeah, I feel like that guy is
not
like
a big
extremely
grunge
similar.
fan.
Gotcha.
Grunge is one of the few genres that I haven't really like been able to get behind.
Oh yeah, I like all that shit, man. I like that, like them, like Soundgarden, Stone Temple Pilots. I like all that shit, man.
Yeah, I got into it for sure.
I think I wasn't like old enough to enjoy it when it first came out. And when I went back to go listen to it, I think Creed kind of ruined it for me. So
how do you even bring them up in
a... Y'all should do a matinee show just Creed songs.
I used to sing Creed songs at karaoke and keep a straight face. Like, I was in college and I go to my buddy. I was like, "Hey, you're gonna want to take a video of this, but don't laugh. Like I don't want anyone figuring this out." And I get up there and I go into the microphone. I'm like, "This goes out to anyone who's lost a loved one recently." And I like pretend I'm like literally crying as the song's starting. And I like straight facing the entire song. And during the solo, I get down, I'm like punching the ground out of emotion and stuff. And then like my buddy taking the video, like people see he starts to laugh and they're like, "Okay, this is kind of a joke." But yeah, I've done that a few times. There's videos out there somewhere, but I'm keeping those intentionally suppressed.
Wait, we can't post those as a...
I'll see if I can find it.
That would be really funny.
I'll see if I can go dig that up. I've also done AC/DC, but that was on Bourbon Street, and that video is also pretty crazy. I'll see if I can find
Bingo. That. Oh, we didn't drop AC/DC. That's a band.
Yep.
That figured it out. Well,
yes.
Bon Scott did point him out though.
Yeah.
He said you would replace me. So
yeah, that's AC/DC. A good point.
I did get to see them before shit. What's
Malcolm Young?
Yeah, Malcolm. I was like young. Yeah, Malcolm. Yeah, I did get to see AC/DC with Malcolm Young. So yeah.
The only time I've ever seen them was right after Brian Johnson was told not to tour anymore, like his hearing was going or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the first tour where Malcolm Young like was incapable of touring. He was still alive, but his nephew, I think it was Stevie Young, looks just like him and everything, plays the same guitar.
Wow.
And he was there playing, and obviously Angus is still there. But I saw them with Axl Rose singing, which was kind of cool because I hadn't seen Axl yet. He killed it.
Okay, yeah, no, like third time around, Axl Rose fronting AC/DC. Yeah, that's when I saw them with Malcolm and Axl fronting them. God damn, what a fucking great singer!
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's killer, man.
What are your thoughts on Jesse Leach versus Howard Jones in Killswitch?
Dude, I mean, they're
Howard
both
Jones wails, dude. They're both extremely good, but I guess I'm more of a Howard fan.
Yeah. So I like them both, and I like their old stuff musically. So therefore, it would, you'd think Jesse, and then their new stuff with Jesse touring right now, he's killing it. But I think just singer versus singer, you got to go Howard. He's like more like operatic. Like my old roommate used to describe it as that. And just his voice is just unlike anything I've ever heard. But I mean, Jesse's doing a great job. Those are enormous freaking shoes to fill. But yeah, I'd probably have to go Howard on that if I just put him up in a vacuum. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like Jesse's songwriting a little bit more, but I like Howard's performance better.
That's a really good way of putting it.
Who else?
Yeah.
Who else has been replaced?
Singer wise,
I was just going to say across the board. But do you guys have any, like, I know you've mentioned Zeppelin's your favorite band. I can definitely see that as like a drummer. But do you have any like vocal inspirations? And then I had a couple other questions about drumming, but we'll circle back
for
to that.
sure. So when this band started, I was kind of going for definitely not as heavy as it's ended up being. I'll be completely honest. It was
I appreciate that. I don't think I'd listen to it as much if it was lighter.
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah, it was more like it was closer to being more on like the emotional side, like Third Eye Blind, Manchester Orchestra, like type stuff. Like I love that type of music, and it's always inspired me. And like I thought I could kind of sing more like the Third Eye Blind stuff. And then one practice like super, super early on. I don't think we were even covering Motorhead, but like Casey was like, you should just sing like Lemmy this next song. And I just totally did it as a joke.
Good idea.
I just completely did it as a joke. And then he was like, that sounded great. And I was like, okay. And I went back to like the normal one. I couldn't go back to like my normal voice. I was like, I like having like a rasp to it.
I'll buy that man a drink. Whoever said that, I'll buy that man a drink.
I've bought Casey more than enough drinks in his life, but I'll buy him a drink.
I was about to say, he would love that.
I'll buy Casey a drink. Thank you for guiding Mike here not to sing like Third Eye Blind for type of music that clearly does not. I honestly, in my personal opinion and critique, that would not fit.
Well, musically, it was quite different than it became now too. This was super early on. There was more emotional, like, you know, weird songs like that, but now I can't undo it. And then I got really into Motörhead because at the time I only liked a couple other songs. I hadn't really sat down and, you know, did a full deep dive into it. And actually during COVID, one day I was working and I just listened to their entire discography, like front to back, like from their first album all the way to the last album. I did like their tribute albums, their covers, like you name it. I listened to virtually every song they ever recorded in one day. And I was like, holy fuck, Motörhead is so sick. And then since then, like the past like 2 years, year and a half, it's just like, I'm very transparent about it. I'm like, yeah, like if people say I sound like Lemmy, that's a massive compliment. So I'm just putting the foot in the ground and going with it.
Is it works?
Well, if you want to stay sounding like Lemmy, smoke a lot, drink a lot of Jack, and beer.
I drink my fair share of Jack and beer. I'll tell you that much.
No, was his Jack his favorite drink? Shit,
it was Jack. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I want to go to the bar that he used to sit at and
Rainbow
feed the machine.
Yeah,
play slots.
Casey's actually seen that before. Casey visited out there and he saw like the statue and everything. I'm very jealous of that.
Cody, what are some of your like, what did you growing up? How long have you been playing drums? And then like, what are some tracks that you like would learn to play on, like as you started, and how has that evolved your skills at slapping the skins?
I actually, this is really funny. I talked about this in the last podcast I did. I've played drums now for 12 years now.
Rock on.
The very first song that I would sit down and like, I'm gonna give the whole spiel of just how I started real quick. But so my little brother was taking guitar lessons
to the
at the
interview
time.
in the PR circuit.
yeah.
Telling the same story over and over and over again.
It's a good one though. I think people enjoy it. But so my little brother was taking guitar lessons at the time, and he'd been doing that for a month. And I'd go there like every time because I mean that's my mom with us, and I was like, I don't know, she just didn't trust me by myself. But either way, I would find myself like in the drum room like every single time that I went there, and I'd be sitting there playing Paradise City by Guns N' Roses because that's like one of the most simple things you can like really play on drums. The one day, my aunt had actually taken us to it, like to his lessons and shit. She's like, if you're in here every single time, just do it. basically. Like kind of like got it set up, like threw me in there and set it up, and it stuck. It really stuck. But yeah, man, that was it. I took lessons for like 3-4 months, something like that, and was self-taught ever since. I played in like a church. I played in the church for like 5 years. Did like the school band stuff, and then eventually started my own metal band, and we were Hot Garbage to be exact. And
that was your name, Hot Garbage.
We were called Through Broken Glass, but so me and so it was actually
Hot Garbage would have stuck a lot better.
Yeah.
That was the album title.
I don't even think we had one, dude. We didn't even have one. But like now, like so that band was called Through Broken Glass, and we call it Through Broken Ass because we were so bad, dude. Like literally everybody played different instruments besides me. Nobody actually played their own instrument. We just wanted to fucking make a band, and we did it. Yeah. I don't know how, like some of the shows we got, I don't know how the hell we got them. But I think it's the fact because we didn't have actually like music out because we were that bad.
Well, you know what was crazy
Except
about that
for the
story
drumming.
too, Cody?
Yeah.
Is when Cody told that story on the last podcast, we didn't realize this until he told it, but that I was saying, I grew up a drummer. The song I like learned on was Paradise City too. So now we're like, oh, we have to cover that. Like that's pretty. I think that's actually my favorite song of all time. So I'll butcher that cover. I can
totally
do a
down
horrible
for
Axl
that.
Rose.
I'm totally down for that.
That'd be cool.
You heard it here first, folks. You heard it here first.
Just in case he's drunk enough, and he'll do Axl Rose.
Oh, you know, like he just shows up and does it.
Just start fighting with a fan now.
Yeah,
jump into the fan, start beating them up.
That'd be a good look.
You got to build your street cred, man. You got to build your rock and roll street cred.
Hey, all publicity is good publicity.
Unfortunately, you're right.
So, Cody, are your sweet feet and hands on this record?
No, not this one, but we actually have already recorded a second album, which mine are actually on there. So
wonderful.
The first one is the machine himself, Mike. Mike is a freaking animal, and he literally, I take that back. Casey was actually in on bass too, but Mike freaking grinds, and he put in a lot of work on the album. I mean, damn near all of it, pretty much. But yeah, man, Mike's the real machine behind this first album, dude.
Damn.
I love and hate when Cody calls me the machine because I think of
you are the machine.
He is a machine. Like I've not played with anybody like that's like that. That's like, it's one thing for people to play like multiple instruments, but it's hard to find people that can actually do it and be extremely well at it. There's not a lot of people like that. You got something. That's why I love you, Mike.
Thanks, buddy.
Mike the machine.
I do miss playing drums, I'm not gonna lie, but that's another story.
What as drummers, what's a song that like you wish you could play but can't figure out how?
Oh, that's a really good one.
Word.
I've got my head here right now. I used to be pretty like
is it Hot for Teacher?
No, I used to cover that one. But actually it's so I used to be like in some pretty technical metalcore bands and everything, and the one like fill thing I couldn't figure out was in a Caught in a Mosh by Anthrax. Like as the like intro's going, it's like that little fill I could never freaking figure out. And then I've seen Anthrax like 10 times. I'm watching the drummer every single time. I still don't get it, but I'll go with that one.
Damn, Caught in a Mosh.
All right, Cody.
What about you, Cody?
I'm really trying to think about that one. Man,
think of it like a video game. It's like a video game level that like you can't seem to get through and just like makes you rage quit every time.
Yeah.
Like, you get a little bit farther every time, but like you also just can't do it.
All right. So this is a pretty big metalcore band, and I know Mike's gonna love this one, but it was Cry Wolf by Texas in July.
Yeah.
Like there's some really hard. I would sit there, I mean, for hours and hours and hours just trying to get that shit. I mean, like perfect. Still can't get that shit perfect. But then again, I also haven't tried in like probably a year since I've actually like sat down and actually tried it.
Challenge.
Adam Gray's a cheat code, dude. He's so good.
Yes.
Keep the video game metaphor going.
Yeah, literally though.
All right. Here's a challenge to you, Cody.
All right.
Figure that song out and record yourself doing it.
Bet. Say no more, fam.
Because we want content.
I'll do my damnedest.
I'm on practice on Wednesday, and we're just grinding until Cody gets that.
I'm a whore for content. I'm a whore for podcast content.
Hell yeah.
Nate would agree.
Yes. That's our biggest struggle right now. I hate social media with a passion.
Oh, it sucks.
It is
As
a necessary evil.
As a developing band and growing a fan base, how has social media played a part in your... Oh, there goes the light. Shit. Yeah, how has social media played a part in your outreach and growth as a band?
I can hear everything. South Park episode with the mailman.
Respect my authority.
Authority.
Yeah, it's definitely been everything, man. Especially because we were releasing singles during COVID and just doing Instagram ads and Facebook ads just to get it out there and try to get some traction and doing research on how to get onto Spotify playlists the right way, how to hopefully trigger the algorithm, whatever. So yeah, social media has been everything for us up until getting to play shows again and getting back out there. We've had a couple of insane opportunities, since shows have been opening back up, being more normal. But yeah, at first it was literally everything, and I hate that because I hate social media. I suck at social media. I'm a terrible texter. Like I would rather just go out and play shows 6 nights a week, but in today's, especially since COVID, it just can't be that way anymore, which
it's
sucks,
a staple. It's a staple now.
Yeah.
It's not even just music either. It's like, it's even like a business and stuff like that. I feel like a lot of people, it's just something you got to do. Is that everybody has it. Everybody has it. Oh.
Face me. Tweet me.
Yeah.
What was that, Phil?
That was my drunk uncle impression.
I always love the drunk uncle that like the friend's drunk uncle that adds you on Facebook and then DMs you like every week, like, how you doing, Mike? I'm like, please stop talking to me. Please. Like I haven't seen
I don't have that.
I don't know. Nope.
Speaking of dope opportunities, what have you? I mean, Blue Ridge was just like a really big,
yes,
really big show for you guys, which is awesome. I'd love to hear about that more in a minute. But like, who's like a bucket list band for you guys to like tour with? Like, have you had any like opening offers outside of like local shows or like stuff like that?
So the tours going right now, I feel like most, if not all of them, were tour packages from before COVID. So it's been like impossible to try to get onto an actual package. And that's okay too, because we're still wanting to develop an audience before we quit our jobs. You know what I mean? It's got to be an absolutely right decision and a very calculated decision. But as far as like dream bands to open for, I always say like AC/DC, Foo Fighters, Airborne, stuff like that. But Cody, I don't know if you've got different ones.
It changes. It changes on like a regular basis. Right now, I'd say Metallica, dude. I think Metallica would be fucking huge. I mean, like those guys are literally selling out stadiums, dude. Like that's like, it's not a theater. Stadiums, like going for, I feel like from what I've seen anyways, like playing in like theaters compared to stadiums is a whole nother ball game.
Oh yeah.
Whole nother ball game.
Yeah. After, putting out Load and Reload, they're still going strong after that bullshit.
Yes, they are.
After that bullshit.
Dude, they're playing.
Do you know what the album cover title is for Load and Reload?
Yeah.
Do you, Phil? Do you?
Is it in Blood and Sperm?
Yeah, Blood and Semen.
No way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's literally that's what the album cover is like, like old transparencies for school projectors, like overhead projectors.
Yeah.
They took like two transparencies and mixed the two liquids together. And that's how you got the album cover for Load and Reload.
Seems legit.
Was it Lars or
wasn't it?
No, I think they actually had a designer, like they actually hired a guy to do it.
Nate, there you go. There's your next art piece. Or do you want to mix ours, buddy? Do you want to mix ours? Friends forever. Friends forever.
Is that going to be our next
Bruna
single?
Can watch.
I mean, if the price is right.
Put that shit on a shirt, Nate. Come on, dude.
For what they charge for album artwork.
What is this single art? This is so cool. Oh, it's actually our sperms mixed together and a little coloring to it. So don't worry.
It's a real bond. It's a real bond.
Just dudes being guys, you know.
Just circle jerking in a cup. No big deal.
Nothing to see here.
It's really funny. Somebody just walked by and was like, hell yeah. Oh, man.
Well, you said circle jerking in a cup? That's what they heard?
Yeah, that's what they heard.
That's probably the least thing.
Hell yeah, brother. Right on, dude. Right on. Whatever you're about, man.
Y'all watch Big Mouth?
Oh, yeah.
On Netflix? No.
I've seen it. Have not watched it, though.
The episode where they have to like jizz on a cracker and like...
Oh my god!
So bad. It's so fucking good.
It'd be super salty, probably. I don't fucking know.
I love that show. Anyway, what's the approach to like getting on tour? Has COVID changed that? Like, how people see? Because I know, especially with like shows being streamed and stuff now versus actually like live. Like, what's the touring process look like now? Like, how do you get attention to be selected as a band's supporting act?
So like, just as far as like opening, like, so like local support opening on like bigger tours, we've just made some pretty killer connections on the cities around Indianapolis, just getting out playing and getting in contact with different booking agents, things like that, you know, just staying in touch. And then when the right show comes along, they reach out to us and we go open for them or whatever. Blue Ridge was kind of a different story. So like the August, when everything was still crazy, Blue Ridge put a post on Facebook, like every festival in the world was canceled, like without a doubt. And they put a festival like, hey, we're still planning on having it this year. Like, you know, this is our new date in 2020, like back when shows of 15 people couldn't happen. So I was able to find their booking agent's contact, and I reached out. I was like, I don't know if that's the right thing or the wrong thing to have a festival, but if you need another band, if bands drop off, we'll be there. You know, it's a 10-hour drive. Give us a little bit of notice. We'll come out and play. And I got the response back like, oh, thanks. You know, our 2020 lineup's already booked, but we'll keep you in mind for next year. Just like a polite business, go fuck yourself. And that's what I thought it was. And then when they canceled 2020 and started booking for 2021, the booking agent reached back out to me and was like, would you guys want to play as a part of like a Rising Acts band? I was just like blown away. Yeah, exactly. I was just blown away that it wasn't a business, go fuck yourself. It actually was like pretty authentic. Like, yeah, I'll be back in touch. So that one was the outlier. I don't think that's something we can, really rely on happening, like just that weird circumstance. But we've recently signed on with a management company booking and stuff. So for the first time, it's going to be pretty much out of our hands in a good way. So it's definitely different now, and local support's just all about the
connections. Play Virginia.
Yeah, dude.
I will run your merch table for the night.
Hell yeah.
Love that.
We're definitely trying to get more back out there next year. That's definitely the game plan.
Yeah, pretty much from Blue Ridge until the third weekend of December, we pretty much have had booked either, playing shows or shooting music video or whatever. Like super busy the past couple months. So we're as soon as 2022 hits, that's so weird. That's already 22. As soon as the new year hits, we're gonna be getting stuff booked, and we got a lot of people on the East Coast that are saying, come on out. So I got family out there, family and friends, and made a ton of great connections at Blue Ridge. So we'll definitely be out that way some point in the early new year. So I can just about assure you that.
What is touring as a small?
Just on a cracker, get her done.
We should instead of That's What She Said, it should be like title of the next album.
Just on a cracker. No, just on a cracker. I'm so happy I just on a cracker.
Oh, soggy biscuit, goddamn.
Get that baby gravy.
Disgusting. It's got lumps in it.
Oh, I know it. Oh man. What was your question though, Nate?
What is finding? Because I remember talking to a band. I don't know. This was before COVID, and I was like, "Hey, you guys should like headline a tour." And they're like, "Yeah, like we only get asked to be like supported acts." And granted, they're a good band, but like they never like thought. I don't know if they never like thought about it, or like their pull wasn't big enough to really like go on this, on a headlining tour. I've seen bands with less pull, go on a headlining tour and do fine. Like, what does that look like for you guys? Like, what does starting a tour look like for a young band?
Being DIY kind of it's going to be a calculation of, is it going to be worth our time taking off work, gas money, potential hotels, et cetera, et cetera. So you'll first set a guarantee. As a band, as a team, we'll sit down and see what we want to ask of each venue as a guarantee to make it worth just getting to the next venue. But like I said, being DIY, it's just hitting up venues and then trying to have the venue set up local support. Like it's this whole like hop skip process. Yeah. And so booking your own tour is, I've never personally done it, but I've been in bands who have done it before. It sucks. You know what I mean? And being this, level of band to where we can probably get a guarantee that'll get us to the next show, maybe, pocket a couple $100 outside of that. But it's going to be, especially headlining to your question, it's going to be a lot more difficult to make a profit out of the entire run. And that's going to be the equation and the gamble you want to take on it.
Is it worth it to generate that sort of publicity?
It depends how well the shows go. So back in the metal days, I was in metal bands that would go out and do little runs around the Midwest, things like that. And if you're playing in front of 5 people or just the bands, it's like, is it worth it? Maybe not. There's a lot to be learned there outside of just the, the gain you get though, the touring experience and things like that.
I feel like
that's definitely the calculation at least. Go ahead, Cody.
But I think to add on to that, like coming from metal bands, especially, I think Mike could agree on this. Like the fact that we're straight up like rock and roll will definitely bring a wider audience and definitely an older audience, I feel like. And really it's like from my experience playing in like metal bands and stuff, it's usually like younger people coming in there. So usually they got enough, like honestly, like enough to get into the show and probably get them something to eat and stuff like that. When we're playing to older people, honestly, those are the people with the money. That's really like the facts of where that comes from.
And then also, if we were to book our own tour or long run, whatever you want to call it, we would definitely sit down with like our advertising team, our management, and say, we're going to like fund in front of the tour advertising to get people not betting on your stuff. Our advertising team is good enough and talented enough at what they do. Our music is marketable enough, to Cody's point, to where we can get people in the door that don't know us right this instance. So that's kind of the other difference from being, back in the metal days where it wasn't as marketable. We didn't have money to pre-fund advertisements, things like that. So it's this huge, big calculation formula, betting on yourself,
risk versus reward.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. So doing it all yourself if we can get on a tour where we're not doing it ourselves and we're a supporting act, that's going to obviously be the easiest route for us. But that's not going to keep us from getting out on the road. If we're not going to be a supporting act, we're still going to get out there next year.
Is there an application process for direct support, or you just have to do the legwork and try to find a booking agent and whatnot?
I feel like if it's like I feel like if it's more of like a touring band, I feel like they'd have like something like on paper, like if bands have like bigger managements like that, that's how I feel like it'd go. Mike probably has a better answer than me though.
Yeah, it's going to always be kind of who do you know type thing. There are some tours that have you buy your way on, which I kind of fundamentally disagree with.
No.
So spending
$50
$50,000 to go open for a month for whoever, it just, that is to each his own, but I don't think that's necessarily our ideology we like to follow. But it's going to be who you know, who your management knows, the connections you have, things like that at the end of the day. I don't think there's like a formal way for us to email Foo Fighters and say, hey, can we open for you? Like, not that I know of, at least. It's always going to be kind of a who knows who type thing, at least on the surface level.
That's the music business in a nutshell, kids.
Yeah, yep. Literally. Exactly.
They should have just told that to us like during one of my industry classes back in college. Like, it's all who you know. Okay, push the textbook. That's it.
It really is.
It's either all who you know or there's some crazy rich person funding you where you can just buy your way
do
in
whatever.
Yeah.
And it's we don't have any crazy rich people funding us, so that's
there's your ticket, Mike. Just find a sugar mama at one of your older audiences.
Yeah,
I'm gonna start talking to every old lady, and I need to see their 401k.
There you go.
Divorcee. That's the word there. Divorcee.
Divorce.
With that alimony.
Yo, did you guys see it's called I Care a Lot on Netflix?
I don't think so.
So it's got the woman from Gone Girl in it. And so she's a professional guardian for like older people that don't have any known relatives.
Okay.
And her deal is finding people that are worth a lot of money and basically getting forged medical notes so that they get admitted into a home. And when they die, she gets all their money.
Did this end out well? Because you're giving me a lot of really fucked up ideas.
That's where my mind went, too.
Cody and I were like, okay.
Not a bad idea.
No, she accidentally kidnaps the wrong person, and it's kind of a shit show.
Oh, see, we want to kidnap. We'd be really nice about it. We'd play like,
well, no, like it's all legal, but the one lady like fights back illegally, and like she's like, that's not, you're not my guardian or whatever. So yeah.
Okay, so there's some red tape Cody and I have to jump around, but we'll discuss that off the call.
So what I'm saying is find an old lady to help fund your band, and then there you go. So Phil, it's not divorcee, it's no living family members.
So pull an Anna Nicole, marry a rich white dude, have him die, get his money, but then don't die.
Then go die.
No, then don't die.
Yes.
Don't die.
Oh.
reverse. Oh no, successful Anna Nicole, reverse Anna Nicole. I don't know. I'll have to think about that one.
Come on, Nicole.
Either way, you're giving Cody a lot of really bad ideas.
That I'm honestly considering.
No, I do like a slip and Jimmy or something like that on a patch of ice. That'll get you money. There's one thing Better Call Saul has taught us.
Better Call Saul.
That's how to.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Slip and Jimmy.
I love it. Dude.
Hey, Cody.
What up?
Have you ever sharded on stage before?
No, dude.
Like while drumming?
This is no, not. I've never sharded. But I mean, I did have a cyst a while back.
That sucks. Been there.
Dude.
Been there. It's awful.
But
The show must go on, dude. The show must go on.
Cody is a goddamn champ for that.
Like literally,
Dude, I can't imagine.
My whole ass was like bloody and shit. Pretty fucking gross. Yeah, honestly.
That sucks.
Now the internet knows. What up, dudes?
Now
Are they making
not chicks? But
Are they making memory foam drum thrones now?
I don't. I would say they do. I've not ever had one, but sounds like a good idea.
There's a market out there.
That's what Drummers Unite.
That's what the fucking My Pillow guys should have been doing. Instead of making fucking pillows, drum thrones.
Honestly, not a bad. Dude, drum thrones are expensive too, man.
They are.
Like, they really are. Like for like a good one for sure. Like they get expensive, man.
All right, so if we don't get the money from the idea we just had, let's start a drum throne business with memory foam.
There you go. Bad idea. Patent that shit. What? Actually, even crazier idea. Nobody's allowed to steal this. This is going to be copyrighted after the freaking podcast. But what if we patent like that memory foam like that so other companies could buy that shit? Dang, dude.
I've gone through the patent process before, and it really is not a good time. But
sounds terrible, but it'll be worth it.
Yeah.
What did you try to patent, Mike?
I actually successfully got a patent at my first job after college. I'm a software engineer, so just a massive fucking nerd. And we had a machine learning idea that got patented at United Healthcare. United Healthcare I was working for.
Dope. So that's what the royalties are. What's fun in Southboundretta?
Hell no,
no.
United Healthcare could give a shit about me now, man.
No. Was that a work for hire?
How did that go? Did you sell it?
So
United Healthcare owns that patent.
Exactly. Yeah. So
it was a work
I
for
was
hire.
an employee for 3 years, and me and a couple of guys developed this application thing, this machine learning bullshit. Our manager thought it was really cool and a novel idea, and the company funded the whole patent process. And under the company's, like, my name's on it, but if they made money off it, which I don't think they ever would, because it was essentially predicting people's future of their health. So if you tell someone they're going to get cancer and they don't, that's really bad. So no money would ever come of that. So that's not what's funding Southbound Barretta either. It's my OnlyFans.
Dude, but yes. Yes. Hey, you just got an idea from this. Jizz on a cracker.
I'm not doing OnlyFans.
No, jizz on a cracker. That's how you fund it.
Man.
Mike.
I'm saying, hey guys, welcome to my OnlyFans. Want to see me play fucking Madden for 3 hours? Because that's what I'm going to do.
You got to get your underwear. Get your underwear. Just.
Yeah.
Oh, that's even fucking funnier.
There's probably more.
Dude, you just have to figure out how to play your guitar with your dick. That's it.
Okay. After the call,
may go viral
on that.
May go viral.
Get a banjo pick for your dong.
Flicking that fucking around.
This podcast is giving us some damn good ideas.
Yeah, dude.
No, see, the other thing is can you imagine how much better you could play if you didn't have to use your actual hand for the glass sleeve that you do with the slide, and you could just use your dick? You'd have 2 hands and a slide.
That's 2 beers that I could be drinking as I'm playing.
That's exactly where my mind went.
Yep.
So we're on to something there.
Yes.
Will I get arrested for whipping my ding dong out at a concert? Maybe. But we gotta get all the legality shit cleared up before we do that.
Yeah.
I'd probably leave
that
Indiana.
Could be the way we just become famous, actually famous.
So you're not touring, you're just leaving states one at a time.
Breaking the law, breaking the law. Wow, breaking the law, breaking the law.
Fucking love
There's states we can't tour anymore.
We have officially been canceled.
Just for talking about slide guitar with a ding-a-ling, then now we're fine.
There you go. Well, aren't steel guitars horizontal too?
Yeah, like lap steels, like the country stuff,
like a dobro.
Yeah.
Nice.
Those things are cool, dude. Those things are really cool, actually. Minus the dong part.
Minus the dong.
Have you guys ever thought about having a second guitar on?
In the band?
Yeah.
We've kind of kicked around the idea before. We had a guy right as our first practices ever years ago. We had a guy at practice, still a really good friend of ours. Just didn't work out. He wasn't able to be super committed. I don't know. I think having just the one guitar gives us the option of kind of taking the whole Pantera mindset of doing a solo with just bass underneath it. And like, that's been kind of new-ish for rock and roll. Like on the record, some of the solos are going to have, rhythm tracks underneath it, like tucked under. Mm-hmm. And then if we want to just have the bass under there, we certainly can. And I think that's better than convincing a rhythm guitarist to hit mute for the solo.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
You got it. You got enough people to comfortably sit in a van.
Yep.
Exactly.
Don't want to. Who wants a foot in their face? No. 3's a nice round number.
And the other thing
back
is,
they're just like relaxing in the back.
That's me.
Cody's the backseat guy. Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
Every time.
We also have enough fucking amps on stage already as is. So I don't think we could be, if we had twice as many amps, we wouldn't be able to play any fucking venues around here. It would be too loud.
Mike, do you split your guitar signal into different amp heads?
I want
like a Fender Bassman and like orange.
I really want to. Yeah, so I like the idea of having on the records we have two tones going at once. One's 6505 like Eddie Van Halen type, pretty 80s hard rock, and the other was more Marshall like AC/DC. So we always had like two tones on our records. So I kind of want to do that. But right now I just run a full stack off of a 6505 and crank it the fuck up, and it's pretty killer.
That's what I wish I had in my arsenal here, but I don't.
I was gonna say that's a little bit above my musical headspace right now. So I don't understand the technicality of signals.
It's basically like the dad of heads, guitar heads, like rock and roll metal. That's the way I describe it. It's
knowing Eddie Van Halen was a part of getting, PV 5150 out, you know what I mean? Like, and 6505 after that, like, it's got my stamp of approval. I think Eddie Van Halen, anything he touched went just absolute gold. So I love the head.
It was a complete game changer. Really. Like, it really was. Like, I guess a lot more like metal bands are getting more like digital from like my experience and whatnot.
Yep.
But like head wise though, dude, that's like you go watch a band like a metal, we'll just say a metalcore band. You go watch a metalcore band. Usually their setup is going to be like a 5150 6505 with a Mesa Boogie cab and a tube screamer. Like that's the typical setup. I feel like
the metalcore from like the middle 2000s into 2012, 2015. Every metalcore show you went to, and then Oranges started getting thrown in and all that, but that was the staple back then. And I mean, I'm still a huge fan of that. A lot of guys are going digital now.
Nothing compare. Like, I mean, like me. I guess me and Mike did because we like the actual original sound, but I just feel like there's nothing more clear than having like an original like tube head compared to like digital. It's just there's nothing like it, man.
Yeah,
and I could never.
Are you talking about in the studio recording?
Studio recording, playing live. I guess
more so live. Yeah.
How do you play live digitally?
So there's like various different like head modelers. Is that what it's called? The right term? Where it's
I think you're right.
It's just a modeler that's like you have on stage. You plug into it, and you can essentially tell the.
Mike, we lost you.
Sound like Eddie Van Halen, and then it's just a direct out to the PA. Oh shit, am I still here?
You're back.
You're back.
What the hell's going on, man? But yeah, so like the modeler can just have you sound like whatever you want, sound like Van Halen, Architects, Beartooth, literally, whatever sound you want to go for, and it's just literally one direct out to the PA. You could technically go into amps on like cabs on stage.
Talk about a band that deserves royalties.
Which band is that?
Architects, like anything after All Our Gods.
Doomsday,
any band. Yeah, it predates Doomsday. I'm pretty sure it's either Match Made in Heaven or Gone with the Wind that has a similar riff that came out earlier.
Yeah, Gone with the Wind.
anything after that, like just all a YouTuber I follow calls them Linkin Parkitects bands.
Literally, though,
They have
That's a good
architect's riffs with Linkin Park choruses.
Yeah. Wait, is that like Finn McKenty? Does he say that all? Yeah.
That's a Finnism. That's definitely a Finnism.
Yeah.
I think I've plugged Finn in just about every podcast episode we've done. Come on the show, please. Anyway, basically, yeah. Anyway,
I will give this though. Like I'm sorry to go back to like the digital thing. It's convenience is definitely cool. I like just like for having like that many kind of options and stuff like that. But it doesn't like just watching. I guess this is from my experience. From watching bands play with like digital tones and like that compared to 2 amps, there's a difference. I mean, I'm a drummer, but I can still I can tell a difference. Like it just like, I don't know. It doesn't sound as full.
The breakup and clipping's not the same.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
Yeah. And it sounds great. Like the digital tones, especially the past 5 years, have gone just to the atmosphere. They sound so good. But it's just not the same. You know what I mean? It's always going to be just a little different. And honestly, like for me personally, having a cab right behind me on stage, just like blasting the people in the front row, which you can do with digital tone, but it's still going to be, not quite the same. That's rock and roll right there. Like I get that like digital tones, we could hop around, and go clean tones like this and that, have all digital effects, et cetera, but having just a head cranked, smacking people in the front row and smacking me, you know what I mean? Like I need that, man.
That's what it's all about.
For sure.
Yeah, because I had that question with myself as far as like art goes. It's like digital versus traditional, and there's just like something like even the creation process with traditional is better than digital, in my opinion. Anyway, I mean, doing client work is easier digital because you have ways to redo everything if it doesn't look good, but like just if you can nail it, there's something about traditional and like the actual like physical thing that just makes it better.
Yeah,
totally, man.
Makes it worth it.
Same goes for digital versus traditional on the recording process. The Under Fire album was all actual digital tones that we spent a million fucking hours getting right, and we had a producer producing that album that's done tons of metal and rock albums in the past, so I was comfortable with it. Then this new album, the secret album that we've been sitting on for a couple months and playing some songs live, is just straight up my amps cranked up in a room, Cody's live drums, very little samples under it, just as traditional as you can get. And, like you're saying, Nate, there's definitely going to be pros to both. There's going to be cons to both. But it's just kind of like an ideology decision you have to make.
Yeah.
And
like a personal opinion.
For sure.
I guess.
Well, your ears will always tell 10, you.
How much does the new album crunch?
Can you ask that again?
How much does the new album crunch? Like, does it got lots of crunch to it?
Oh,
define crunch.
Like that southern metal crunch.
It's in your face.
Like something off the Big Dirty.
So the new album's kind of cool. I had this idea of like, I've let me think about how to describe this, but I had this idea of like mosh parts, but in a Southern rock context. So like the way I describe it is like if you see like at a redneck bar people getting in fights, what's playing in the background. And so like there's a couple parts on our album that have like it's literally breakdown. It could be mosh part we want to play it. But it's still in a rock and roll context. And I haven't really heard much like when like Every Time I Die gets super Southern sounding type thing. It's like that, but even further towards rock. And I love the new album. Like it's paining me to not be able to release it, but we're starting to play a couple of the songs off there. Mm-hmm. There's still super catchy songs. There's a love song. There's a breakup song. There's like a straight Black Sabbath metal type, old school metal song. There's a couple just normal classic rock songs. There's mosh part. There's everything you can want, man. I'm pretty stoked. I'll try to send you a sneak peek, Nate. You can share it around with Phil if you want. If that's okay with you, Cody. I don't want to.
Yeah, totally, dude. Totally.
All right. Don't tell.
I can. I mean, I'll probably post some songs from Under Fire as a part of like the whole.
Oh yeah.
Like lead up to this episode. Yeah, I'm glad we could do this episode sooner than later, so we can actually like develop content for it. Because like we've always not struggled to develop content, but just had to like rush, and I feel like it doesn't turn out as well. We have to rush it, so I like being able to.
It's a learning process.
Yeah, we're still learning. We've been doing it for
to get famous. It's a learning process.
Yeah,
we all just want to get famous.
I mean, yeah, I want to quit my job so bad.
Just find that right person. Jizz on a cracker for them. They'll pay you. That's what I'm looking for right now. I'm going to put it down. God damn it. I'll jizz on a cracker.
Freaking
pay me millions.
Circle joker.
Pay me millions.
Oh, man. Well, Phil, how's your stomach doing?
I've gotten over that point, so I'm okay right now. But
cool.
Yeah,
well, I could keep talking, but I'm gonna go pee real quick.
Yeah. All right.
Phil, ask him a deep question and keep talking for a bit. I'll be right back.
I'm on the spot. Well, both my lights have gone out, so this is fun. I actually have one light left. That's kind of like a spotlight. I know there's my production value. We give A+. Let's see. Mike, for you seem to have written, most of the songs or all of the album by yourself, or most of it. What do you like about your fellow bandmates, and what do they bring to the table that you lack?
That's a good one. That's actually
a really good question, especially that I lack. That's something that. So Casey has a really cool perspective to bass. So, like I mentioned earlier, he's actually a guitarist. So when he sees a bass, he first off doesn't see it just like some rock bassists do, where they're just playing the roots, which is, that fits a lot of context. And he doesn't see it necessarily like classically trained bassists who might be doing, blues walks, in the respective keys. So he kind of approaches it like another guitar. So early on, we're setting up his pedal board, and we have a couple pedals on there where it's an octave up that goes on top of his same signal. So when I'm playing a solo or during a heavy part or whatever, it sounds like there's another guitar there. So I think for Casey specifically, he's really does a great job of filling a ton of sonic room underneath just a riff I come to practice with. And that's super cool because writing the riffs like sometimes can get you so far, but there needs to be more around that, which Casey can come into play with. And then Cody, I feel like we collaborate very well. It's never like I'm stepping on his toes, and it's if he has ideas back, it's never like he's stepping on my toes, which is super important to me because being a drummer myself, I never want to be like over his shoulder. You know what I mean? But at the same time,
this way.
Exactly. Yeah. I would feel like shit. But then at the same time, this is our shared artwork, and we both agree that we need to make the best part and the best fitting part come into the piece. So just the collaboration for me and Cody has been absolutely seamless in the sense that the riffs I demo out songs I recorded down here in the studio. I have drum parts in mind. I write and record the drum parts, but that's not the end game. That's not final. It's still going to Cody like go ham on this. Mix it up here, do something crazy. So the collaboration with Cody and I just absolutely seamless, which I think that's the most important part, at least when it comes to the writing.
For sure.
You ever find like, I don't know how ego plays into this at all, but do you ever find it difficult to like play somebody else's music?
I mean, I feel like we're very well-rounded. Like we like a big variety of music. And I think that's what really kind of sets us apart too. Like from like, I guess like I should say I feel like local bands. I don't know if I'm really saying that right, but like yeah, man, we like just jamming and stuff like that. It just there's all different kinds of angles that just go into it. We just sit there and just jam, dude. Like whatever comes out usually comes out, and it's pretty fucking killer, honestly.
And Cody, for like when we're constructing sets, like kind of piggybacking off that, do you ever feel like fuck, we're only playing one new song and then everything off under fire, or is it just like you're
dude,
you vibe with under fire stuff too, I guess?
Yeah, totally. Like literally all the songs that we play are fun. And that's like one thing I think I always like really missed out. Like, is it now though I'm actually playing like rock and roll, like that's straight up my roots. That is like my actual roots, and it took me a long time to like actually realize that, honestly. Like just from going and play, I just wanted to play metal for a while, and then realized like playing in these bands was like, man, I'm really just a rock and roll drummer, because like the music I would listen to would just be rock and roll, and I'd be playing metal shows.
Yeah.
Well, metal is one of the more complex drumming. Metal is one of the more complex drum parts to play. How does that? Do you feel like you have to hold yourself back when writing new stuff?
No,
or do you like?
Not with this band. Like, I guess it goes back. I lost my train of thought, but man, like just honestly playing like this stuff, it's natural, dude. It's honestly natural to like play. So like. I don't know. I think that just brings more out of me, like when we're playing, like, and to realize that you don't need the most technical things to like write a good song is like it's definitely it's cool. It's cool, man.
So Cody, when you're playing, you're not playing, you're having fun. At this point, You're having fun because it's so natural to you. Everything just flows.
Yes.
With your feet and your hands. It's just fun now.
Yeah, man.
Do you have a double kick or do you have to flutter?
I use a double pedal. Yeah. We actually, the song Redline, there's a double bass part in that. And then, one of these new one, we have a new song that like just here recently, I've just like, there's like a slower part. I've just been throwing it in there, and honestly, it's just sounded killer. But other than that, I usually just stick to one, man. And that's, it's cool, dude. It's a change, total change.
Oh, got to vary up,
from like
keep it fresh.
From constantly being like just playing double bass all the time. It's just it's cool. It's really cool, man.
Is one cab withering away?
Yeah.
I feel like it also makes the parts where you do go into double bass or like in between songs when you're doing fills and kind of fluttering around and stuff. It makes those hit better, from opposed to like in a metalcore set when you're just hearing the whole set. It's like, okay, like we get it. You've listened to Meshuggah. You know what I mean? Like, nothing wrong with fucking Bleed, obviously, but no. So I think like it's kind of like the sense of like the heavier bands that never played a breakdown, and then when they do play a breakdown, it hits so much harder. When you think of Raining Blood, one of the first breakdowns ever, or Domination by Pantera, like. It's so different from the rest of that song or album that when that breakdown does hit, it's huge. And that's kind of how the double bass parts are for us. At least that's how I view it, like from a composition standpoint.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, I should probably start wrapping it up. I got like maybe 10 or 15 minutes before my stomach says, you suck. I had a couple rapid fire questions for the two of you guys. Okay. One that rapid I haven't. Fire. Yeah, I have a couple that I haven't asked in a while, Phil. I think you'll like this. So one question that I used to ask everybody is, what is a purchase of $100 or less that has made the biggest impact on you this year?
For the band?
Personally. For you.
Or for the band. If personally you used it for the band.
$100 or less.
A dolly, dude. A dolly. Yeah. That's the only thing I can think of right now. But I was like, man, like just for it. I think it was actually why I say that is because after the first show that I played with with Mike and Casey, we were up in Chicago, and that was like honestly one of the shittiest load-ins I think I ever had.
It was like an 8th-mile walk from the back of the venue to the stage. And I'm like, probably about an 8th mile. It was fucking far. Like it was like multiple venues in one place. And the load-in was way far in the back, obviously. And we're playing like the bar in the front. And I was like, dude, we're walking through like the kitchen and shit. Great place, great venue. I'd play there any day of the week.
The place was rad. The place was absolutely rad. We
needed the dolly for sure.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know how to answer that, man. In the past year, $100 or less, I pretty much just buy beer. No, I'll get you a good answer. Hold on. $100.
All right, Nate, move on to the next one.
What is something that you wish your 18-year-old self knew? Or if you could impart your wisdom to your younger self, what would you tell them?
Get over a girl faster when you break up after only like 2 months. I spent a lot of time very fucking sad over stupid relationships, and I'm man enough to admit that.
Right there with you, buddy. Right there with you.
Oh, I just had one. Okay, this one's actually pretty common. Save money. Save money. Because I was really good at spending. Money. Yeah, like for real. Like, yeah, save money, dude. Save money and then make wise spending decisions, I guess.
Yep, I'm still feeling the repercussions from not doing that. So
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, man.
And then the third one is, if you could put anything on a billboard, what would it be?
Anything on a billboard? Mm-hmm. Where is this billboard located?
This is for the intention of the most people seeing it. So, like, I don't know.
Vegas, baby. Vegas.
I was going to say Times Square, like one of those big illuminated, like.
I mean, I'll take the shitty answer here and just say Under Fire album out now everywhere, because that would. I wanted to say like something ridiculous, but I mean, that's probably actually what I would put on a billboard, is something about the album being out.
Nope.
Let's say a bunch of ducks eating Braunschweiger. That's it. Just a bunch of slop, dude. That's just like straight off the dome. I just like picture that in my head.
At least it's not the flute tune from Austin Powers, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, cool. Man.
Guys, this has been a lot of fun. I have so many more questions, but
Cody, Mike, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us, man. Yeah, it's been cool chatting, especially, Nate, we've been, talking for a year and a half now. So it's cool coming on and you're just getting to hang out a little bit. Obviously
I couldn't made it to the show, but it's all right.
Yeah. We'll be out in Virginia here soon though. We'll make it out that way.
Richmond would love you guys.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of really good things of Richmond, man.
I think Richmond or Harrisonburg would be a really good scene for your style.
Hell yeah.
Dude, send us some venues, dude. Send us a list of venues and we'll check it out.
Yeah, I'll hit you up with a couple for sure, because I think anywhere north would be too big.
They can go to Maryland.
There's some places in Maryland, but I think for like the size you guys are at, Virginia or maybe like Asheville, North Carolina would be good. But yeah, Richmond has a really awesome. We really
want to get out to Charlotte. We have a couple friends. Yeah, we want to do Charlotte, and then Richmond would be sweet.
Oh, I'm gonna do it, Nate. I'm gonna do it. I haven't done this whole episode. Charlotte, that's Flair country. Woo!
I don't think but
Phil has resisted the urge to bring up a wrestling joke this entire time. I can see it.
Hey, that's well received.
The smoke coming out of his ears from holding back. Word. Well, for the two of you guys, like, how can people find out more about either you personally or the crazy tunes y'all have been putting together for the world?
Yeah, I mean, follow us on Instagram and Facebook as the band Southboundretta. You know, it's just searching on either of those apps. Follow us on Spotify. We'll have more singles coming out. We have a website, southboundbrettaband.com. You
can literally just Google us, and we will pop up.
Yeah, then if you want to follow either of our personal accounts or either of our OnlyFans, feel free. You can follow me under Girth Brooks.
You know I'm subscribing. I'm going for that platinum package, baby.
It's just me playing guitar and Madden in my undies. That's all you're gonna see. Listen,
smear some peanut butter on your chest.
I just have like leftover Taco Bell. I'm sitting there playing PS4.
Get some cheese whiz and just.
Dude, I got cheese whiz. I keep that motherfucking thing on me, man. I got cheese whiz on me like 24/7. So it'll be there. The whiz will be there.
Whiz.
The whiz will be
Do they make cheese whiz flavored lube?
That's our next business idea.
That's another patent. That's another patent.
As soon as we're done here, I'm going to Google it, and then
All right, everybody, wrap this up. Under Fire, out now. Southbound Barretta.
Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen, for me and Nate. Stay hungry, stay creative, stay safe. Thanks everybody for listening. Goodbye.
Thanks,
dude. Later.
See you guys.